So today, we're going to unpack a pretty bold vision for the next decade of technology, based on some incredible insights from AI coach Sachin Chitre. I want you to forget what you know about coding for a minute. We are going on a journey, starting way back with the birth of the web with Netscape, all the way to the dawn of artificial general intelligence, or AGI, to see how the very act of creating things is being completely reimagined.
And this quote? This is the core idea for everything we're about to explore. The very nature of creation is changing. Just think about it for a second. We are shifting from meticulously telling a computer how to do something, step by tedious step, to simply describing what we want to achieve. That is a huge leap, and we're about to break down exactly what that means for you.
To really get where we're going, you got to look back at where we've been. Technology has always been a story of building layers of abstraction, basically getting us further and further away from the raw ones and zeros, right? Back in '95, Netscape made the internet usable for everyone. Then Java took away the headache of different operating systems. The 2010s? That's when microservices and serverless made the physical servers kind of disappear. Each step took us from worrying about the machine to focusing on the idea. And today, AI? Well, AI is the final step in that journey. It's the ultimate abstraction, from code to pure intent.
Okay, so let's really get into this fundamental shift, because this isn't just about a new tool or a new programming language. Nope, this is a completely different philosophy for how we build things.
This really lays it all out, the two worlds we're talking about. The past, right, that was all about manual syntax, strict, deterministic logic, if this, then that. We were the ones writing every single instruction. But the future, that's about natural language, probabilistic systems, and just defining the outcome we want. The big takeaway here, we're shifting from being the bricklayers to being the architects.
All right, let's get practical. Let's bring this down to earth. What does this actually look like over the next 2 to 5 years? Because this is where the change really starts to hit our day-to-day work.
So yeah, let's just ask the question directly. What is actually going to change for you? How are your job, your tools, your entire strategy going to have to evolve in the very, very near future?
Well, first up, development is about to become truly AI native. And look, this is way beyond just a simple AI copilot suggesting code. We're talking about prompt as source, where the prompt literally is the code. You'll do what's called vibe coding, just describing what you want in plain English. Then autonomous AI agents will coordinate to actually build the solution. Your new role? You define the big picture, while the AI handles all the messy plumbing underneath.
Now, of course, this much AI needs a serious amount of horsepower, and that's kicking off a massive hardware renaissance. We're going to see way more specialized AI chips, we'll see more processing happening on our local devices, that's the edge for speed and privacy, and we'll see these incredibly complex hybrid cloud systems, where the AI itself is constantly optimizing everything for cost and performance.
And that brings us to the next huge shift. We're looking at the end of the giant one-size-fits-all app. We're moving towards agent ecosystems. So instead of buying software, you'll assemble teams of specialized digital workers from a marketplace. And get this, the business model completely flips. You'll pay for the outcome they achieve, not for a software license.
Let's put a date on this whole thing. By 2028, we're going to see a major tipping point, and it's going to have a huge impact on one role in particular.
And here it is. The role of the developer completely transforms. The focus shifts from just writing lines of code to designing, verifying, and orchestrating these incredibly complex systems. The developer of tomorrow isn't a coder, they're a system conductor, making sure all the AI agents play in harmony to get the job done.
Okay, now let's zoom out even further. Let's look beyond 2030 into what Sachin Chitre calls the post-code era. This is where things get really wild. It's where the line between software and the AI model itself just completely dissolves. The core idea here is something called a behavioral system. So imagine this. You don't actually build the system anymore. Instead, you just define its objectives, its rules, and its ethical guardrails. And then the system assembles, optimizes, and even rewires itself to achieve those goals as efficiently as it can.
So where do we fit in this future? Well, we become part of this really tight, fast-moving loop. Step 1, the human defines the high-level goal. Step 2, the AI agent assembles a solution. And step 3, crucially, the human verifies the outcome. It's a true partnership, a cognitive loop that combines machine speed with human judgment.
Which brings us to what might be the most important question of all. With all this change happening so fast, what skills do we actually need to develop to not just survive, but to really thrive?
It really breaks down into two buckets. On the technical side, you'll absolutely need to master things like prompt orchestration, multi-agent architecture, and AI governance. But honestly, the mindset shift is even more critical. We have to learn to think in probabilities, not certainties. We have to design for uncertainty, and maybe most importantly, we have to embed our ethics into these systems right from the very beginning by design.
But hey, let's be realistic here. This future isn't a sure thing. The road ahead is full of friction. We still have to solve big problems like AI unreliability, hallucinations, and the massive energy costs. We've got to navigate some really tricky legal gray areas and overcome a lot of cultural resistance. And that's all before you even get to the monumental challenge of integrating this new world with decades of old legacy technology.
So as we start to wrap this up, it's so important to remember the central message here. This is not a story about replacement. It's a story of synthesis, a powerful new partnership between human creativity and machine intelligence. I really want to leave you with this powerful thought from Sachin Chitra's work. AI will take care of the syntax. It can handle the logic, the structure, the plumbing. But the soul of a creation, the empathy, the ethics, that creative spark, that will always, always be our domain. That's the human core.
This explainer just gives you a glimpse into the future of software, AI, and business strategy. And believe me, it's only the beginning. The next decade isn't going to be defined by code alone, but by how we, humans and machines, learn to think and grow together. To stay ahead of the curve, make sure you subscribe for more deep dives and insights from AI coach Sachin Chitra. So the question is, the next decade is coming. Are you ready to conduct the system?